Welcome, everybody, to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you cutting-edge conversation while exploring the quantum possibilities.
Welcome,
and tonight,
to Broadcast Team Alpha,
quantum is going to get expanded like I think it's not been expanded before. We have one of my favorite people on the planet. But before we get to our amazing guests, I just want to thank you. You guys know I want to open with gratitude. I just am so grateful for you being here, grateful for the love, grateful for the conversation, grateful for the super chats. And, you know, Augie's like a little kid in feety pajamas when we get super chats. So he's like, ooh! he makes that sound. But before we get started, also, I want to say something. Tonight's going to be different. Just imagine if you're looking in on three friends having coffee or having tea before one of them ascends. What does that mean? Does that mean that person's leaving the planet? What would that conversation even be like? What if they ascend and don't leave the planet? You know, I think right now, the feeling that I feel, it's going to be three people with their hearts cracking open and just having a conversation from there. Augie, will you please tell everybody about our guest?
Yes, I will. And I hope you out there on the Facebook and YouTube and everywhere, open your ears up, because what you're going to hear just might change your life. Because I'm saying that because I have superior knowledge about our guest. And he is an ordained Tao monk, a spiritual teacher, a Chi Gong master, and he's a great musician. In fact, he has done a piece with Orlando Monday Allen, and they have the 432 hertz frequency embedded in it. So this is one thing that you need to listen to, and it will raise your vibration. And of course, you're talking about Monk Su. And he is returning to Broadcast Team Alpha. I think about 2 or 3 years ago, he was on here once. And I am so excited to have him back. Besides, he's a time traveler. If he looks at his watch right now, it's going to say 4 minutes after 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, because he lives in Australia. Welcome to the show again, Mark too.
Oh, welcome, Matsu.
Hey guys, thank you so much.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I will say, I love you all, to whoever's watching, whoever will watch, and all the people that are from here. And we, I want to say a few things before we start, rolling the ball on so many things that we're going to go through today. I want to say salam alaikum to all my Muslim brothers. I want to say shalom to all my rabbis and all my Jewish Kabbalistic initiates. I want to say a good, sincere bow to all my adepts, to my scholars, to my initiates, to my visionaries, to my sorcerers. And I really want to say, Mom, Dad, I made it to the big time with these two people here having a chat with me.
So funny.
Yeah, I want to say to the most blessed people, my father gifted me something in this world, and that was my beautiful mother. He really gifted me such a beautiful mother that she's the one who's the realest warrior on this planet, who's fought a battle and a half. And I can't say thank you enough for her dedication to wanting to be there for me. Because without her, us kids, we don't give enough gratitude and enough love to our parents. All the kids that I see these days, they bypass their parenting to get to their phones, to get to their friends, to get to their society. They all want to be known, they all want to be famous, they all want to be rich, but you can never be rich without great parents, And I want to say thank you to my father. He taught me so much in the 10 years that I spent with him, learning the art of alchemy, how to transform and transmute lead into gold. And this is, you know, one of the biggest things in our lives. How do we transcend? How do we ascend? How do we become our true selves? And one of the biggest vital tools in our transcending is to be fearless. You know, it's a beautiful journey to be a monk. It's even more of a journey to be a devout Muslim in the Islamic tradition. As you both know, I'm really touched by having a chat with both of you today. I'm really honored to have Agi, an unsung hero in the realms in the etheric world. He's a delight to always talk to. I've always had a chat to Agi off recordings, and I can't say enough, but I do want to say, and also Nori, you get such a beautiful heart, you know. So to have a chat with you guys today is really initiation into the ascension world of being in touch with your true self.
It's beautiful. And it's something that I was looking at your Facebook page last night, and it led me to some of your videos, and it led me to some of the memes that are there. And it said that a warrior never fears their death. And, you know, that really hit me last night, you know, with a lot of things going on. And I really thought about that a lot before I went to sleep, among some other things. And what does the lack of fear have to do, or overcoming? Well, maybe not overcoming. Isn't it overcoming? Do you have to overcome fear in order to be 5D or to ascend?
Great question. In my own experience, fear has played a massive part. And to where I am 20 years down the track after living a monastic lifestyle or just practicing the art of mastery, I think mastery to me means living without fear. And also the real definition of mastery is self-love. It's understanding how to love yourself in so many different ways. And we have to get to a certain part of our journey where we have to die to the fear first. And understanding how to die, it means renewing yourself over and over and over. You know, and
yes,
we always get stuck with fixed ideas or in traditions or culture or creed and color. However, just recently I heard that when you do Passover, all of that fades. There is no culture, no creed, no religion, nothing. You get into a situation where everything is dropped. It's such an emerald mesh of love. You are a consciousness. And when you do get to that realm, you do have a choice. You do have a choice whether you come back and share those gifts or whether you want to stay there and enjoy the bliss.
The bliss.
You know, so let's get back to what is fear. We need fear.
Yes.
We need the shadow. We need the shadow to understand the light itself. And I don't want to talk in fluffy terms or the spiritual scenario. I want to really emphasize a reality where presence, being consistent with understanding how to be true to the moment.
Yeah.
Yes. And how difficult is that right now with, you know, attention spans that are like 4 seconds on the internet, and videos, right? Constant videos coming past your screen, and, you know, it's squirrel, wait, what, wait. I mean, getting in the moment, if you're caught up in that, which I have been, I might be, takes a lot of thought.
I do understand what you're saying. I totally understand.
You
First and
have to
foremost,
recognize that you're on the
Yeah.
hamster wheel.
Yeah, look, we're all running from something and running towards something, but true presence is being still and not getting hijacked by your outside sensory perceptions. So first and foremost, I will say Agi wrote this book. I'm not sure if you guys can see this.
Yeah.
Really
Yes,
up close.
it's great. Really
Now,
great.
I read this book. Ooh, I cut my teeth on this book like you wouldn't believe. And it's really important for us to understand how to read ourselves. And this book gives you that bridge. It lets you understand on how to cross that bridge into the unknown and how to understand many things that not many people are going to accept on your journey. And the courageous part about taking that leap is being sincere.
Yeah.
You know, being a monk totally means sincerity coming from your heart, you know, and forever and one day, my journey, it's been rough. It's been a hell ride, you know, with many relationships with many women. It's been relationships with many friends that have started and stopped. And I think that many people that came here to learn the mastery aspect, I personally feel they came here just to be loved. And because I knew how to love myself so much that I had enough love to give to them endlessly as well. So, you know, they just didn't hold back in wanting to be loved. And I think that's what we were missing from our childhood, from our parenting. I can see why children are reaching out these days so much because they just want to be loved. And
Well,
love is the only supreme power on this planet that's actually running the whole game. Yet fear is
yes,
the best marketing plan.
best marketing plan.
Yeah. I
Well, what
think
I,
too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, you go,
Go ahead,
Augie.
Norris.
No, you go. You go.
Okay. All right. That's something that I've been using to say for probably a couple of 3 decades, that there's three things that a person need to have in order to be totally happy. One of them is to be working on a dream. And the other one is to love someone and be loved by someone. And the third one now I've added a little bit later, and that is know how to access the love in that universal mind. And if anybody can come up with something else, I'm all ears. But these are the three things that I have recognized as being most important, at least to me. I have not had that always, but I always knew it was there.
That's beautiful, Augie.
Yeah, that's very touching. But you know, I want to also say that everyone is right now fearing what they should take instead of loving how they can give. So, you know, before we even get started, I really want to say we're all in fear, but right now there's a little something that I'm really putting up here.
What is that?
It's called a bottle of levity, right? Now, instead of people taking the vaccine, I'm going to do this right in front of you guys. I'm going to take the monk scene. So I just took the monk scene. Now this is natural. This is a very CBD natural effect. It's got, you know, I'll name it off. It's got olive oil, it's got sunflower oil, hemp flower, it's got gotu kola, eye bright, rosemary, thyme, sandalwood oil. It's got
Wow.
butterfly tea flower, and it's got lion's mane mushroom.
Amazing.
So, yeah, so this is a natural thing to keep yourself relaxed, And I'm doing all these signs right now for all my alien
Mhm.
friends.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
you know, we all
Who
go
are
by
they? Who are
symbols.
they? Oh,
Yeah, I'll introduce you to them
okay.
when we
Okay.
visit.
All right. All right.
We
That would be great.
I also want to
So,
also bless the moment by lighting this
ah,
incense, you know, keeping the energy clear. In a monk's
beautiful.
path, we rise like the incense,
Mm.
and we by the smoke alone we rise, by love alone we rise, by our hearts alone we go within, and by everyone around us we definitely make sure that everyone's looked after. They're fed on all
Mhm.
planes and all realms and all levels. Most people watching right now, they're not going to understand. They're, like I said, they're stuck in this 3D realm right now, you know,
Yeah.
and they only want to go so far because they don't want to lose what they've got. And most of what we're trying to take is the security, you know. So if you understand that when you do die, there's nothing you can take with you, there's only something you can always expand to.
Mhm.
Yeah, I suppose there are
Can,
no drawers. There are no drawers in the casket, I suppose. So, you know, that probably wouldn't work. But that you brought up something that what is the difference about what we call death and what actually happens? Could you talk a little bit about that?
It's an experience. You have to have a direct experience. I can talk so much about it, and there's many times that I've said, I can describe the candle for its wax, for the wick that goes through the middle, for the flame that burns from it, where it's blue at the base and it gets green and orange, and then you've got your yellow all the way around it. I can explain this all day, all night. However, when I take your hand and I put your hand over the flame, there's only one thing you do is you move it away because of that pain. Now that is a direct experience. And if I said to you, explain the candle, explain the flame now, they can say so much, but they can only feel that experience. So you need to die. You really need to die to all of your knowing, you know, and the only way you can do that is by being still, being watchful, being present, and letting go of everything that you have been or you think you're going to become. You know, so death, it doesn't mean there's an end. Death is life, and that means how to truly live and how to be at peace with what you have, what you are, and what you know. And, you know, thought doesn't come close, words come closer. Descriptions are, like I said, they're great marketing plans for us to get hooked by the gimmick. But at the same time, you know, you've really got to. I've come a long way since I've known you two. And because of you two, I've come that way, you know, by hearing most of your interviews with many great people that have talked about death, they've talked about life, they've talked about aliens, you know, and this is like it's an honor to be here just sharing a conversation with both of you, you know, and I want to say a lot, but there's nothing to be said until you experience death alone. Then you can enjoy life with everyone in the moment.
Hmm.
and I'm glad that you're saying this because a lot of the pop culture teachings that are happening, including law of attraction, right, which was so big with The Secret, and kind of making a resurgence. It so much of it is, you know, reach for the good feeling place, reach for the good feeling thought. And there's a certain logic to that, and there's a certain working your way up if you do it spiritually, but it's kind of saying you're not supposed to have pain. And i I think and I'm asking you, monk, what's the is there a spiritual benefit to the pain?
Many, there's many benefits. You know, being in touch is one of the benefits. Knowing is another benefit. When you know, you can reveal many truths, not only to the people around you. How they take those truths is up to them. There's always that saying, I'm responsible with what comes out of my mouth, but I'm not responsible for what you understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we get to a certain degree that we always look for reward. We're always programmed with rewards by our parents, by our schooling, by our society. As you can see, reward really, to me personally, it means how to encompass the richness of truth. You know, it really, it's a beautiful thing to be rewarded, but to give is the truest reward. And we're all vessels here. We're all having a little bit of an experience in the human form. We get to love one another. We get to scream at one another. We get to take each other on a journey, and we get to come into a soul group together. Our mother, our father. Also, I want to shout out a big shout out to my brother, a very beautiful brother that he's my reward. He's always kept me on track by telling me the truth from an honest, brotherly point of view. Your friends will tell you a lot of things that you think you want to hear. Your society would love to tell you on what's healthy for you by hooking into their system or by jabbing yourself with something. Now, I want to really give you the truest reward is your family. You know, the family that you have, you're born into, and I've really got to emphasize this, the family that I've been brought up with and brought into, my mother, my father, my brother, these are the only three people I came into this world with. And forever, they've been my lifetime reward. You know, they're my truest gifts. They've given me the harshest conversations to say, hey, this is what you're doing. This is what you should do. You know, this is who you should watch out for. You know, and family is everything. So if you really want reward, be one with your family and learn to accept the truths of their observations about you. And you know the older saying, you show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
True.
Absolutely. And you talk about knowing, and there's a difference between believing and knowing. And sometimes, or maybe quite often, we know the wrong things. It is not true what we know. So how do we go inside, or where do we go to find the correct knowledge so we can say we know the right thing and it is true, instead of knowing something that is just a lead balloon that didn't go anywhere?
I understand. I totally understand what you're saying, Agi. You know, once upon a time, I got to hear a gentleman by the name of Jiddu Krishnamurti, who was introduced by my brother's very beloved partner at the time. Her name is Khalida. And like I say, I bless your heart, Khalida, for introducing me to a really beautiful book called On Relationships by Jiddu Krishnamurti. And Jiddu, I'll call him JK for now. JK really opened my mind to belief is something that stops. Belief has an ending, where knowing is continual. Even thought cannot touch knowing. Now, you may know something, and I may know something, but it doesn't mean that we have a belief about it. At that time when we're sharing our knowing, we have an experience right then and there with it. You know, and I am a disciple of Grandmaster Wolf right now, and I will be taking mysticism to a degree where it's never been seen before. I'm holding the torch, And that is my knowing to do so. I will sort of share overseas many experiences, and that is my knowing. It doesn't mean to say that is the ultimate truth, but it's to say that's what I know, that's what I feel, and that's what I understand to be in harmony with who you are. You know, a lot of people aren't going to shave their heads. That's not their knowing. They want to keep their hair. I mean, wouldn't it be funny if all three of us had bald heads right now?
I've considered that for a nanosecond.
Yeah, right.
You're right. So, you know, there's only one of us can shave our heads on a daily. And both of you look good with hair. I will say, you know, so my knowing comes from being eternal. My knowing comes from experience. It doesn't mean that my knowing is all that there is. You know, I can only share a couple of things along the way. And at that point, when we're crossing the bridge, I just clicked. I just clicked. There's two masters standing on a bridge. And at the time, I think it's Confucius and Chuang Tzu. And Chuang Tzu's looking down at the pond, and he looks at the fish, and he says to Confucius, "Wow, those fish, they look happy." And Confucius turns to Chuang Tzu and says, "You're not the fish. How do you know?" And Chuang Tzu looks at Confucius and says,
That's good.
"You're not me. How do you know?"
Oh, yeah. And we have about 3 minutes left here, and we're going to run a little message for people about coffee. So until then, yes. And this is an important message, so just stay tuned for that one. Until then, Mongzu, the two masters standing on that bridge, are we sure they're standing on the bridge?
Very nice thought. You know, comes back to the butterfly and the dream when it's an old story where Chuang Tzu, when he woke up, did he think he was the butterfly? You know, so for a long time, we all crawl along the path with 100 legs going in a direction. Yet when we cocoon ourselves into that stillness, when we really stop, when we stop complying, when we stop taking in this, that through our mouths, our eyes, our ears, the sensory perceptions can only take you so far. However, when you leave your head, it's one of the first things that Grandmaster Wolf really, I remember back in the day when it was in my first three months in the monastery. And he said to me, if you really want to know God, get out of your head.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I come back to that center of, you know, everyone's trying to be the phenomenal power, but they're not going to be that phenomenal power until they know love eternal, which is what's on Nori's wrist.
Yes, it is.
Love eternal is the key. You're only going to love forever. You're only going to love your whole way. But please try your best to not get too consumed by the commercials along the way that, you know, that are inducing fear most of the time, saying that they know better for you. So again, I will say self-mastery is how to love yourself and how to be still and how to be disciplined. It's all in your timing and how to be timeless. You know, right now, I'm saying this right now, and I'm definitely going to go out into the garden and do some Chi Gong after this. I'm going to go after doing Chi Gong, hopefully visit my mother today and, you know, give her the gift of life by showing her that, you know, you've got a son here that loves you. You know, so, and my beautiful father, oh, wow, I've been gifted one of the most greatest alchemists on earth. I
Amazing.
really, just his presence alone, his awareness has just put me on track. It's not what he said, it's how he did it. So again, I will say,
Mm.
Grandmaster Wolf, I can't say enough, like, thank you, Grandmaster Wolf. I cannot thank you enough by showing and birthing the stillness and his utmost saying that really rang truth like you wouldn't believe is the
Yeah,
next,
in my,
what is it? I want to
yeah,
say just this one, what's one saying before we go to this commercial? The greatest teacher on this plane is the living example for the next generation.
yeah,
Have some coffee to
that's
that.
right. That's why,
Cheers.
yep, that's why some people are able to stand on the shoulders of giants before them. And with that word, we're gonna go and run this little commercial about coffee, and you're gonna like it.
Ooh.
So that's the first half.
I knew that there was a need because my father had a need. And if my father had a need, then how many other people have a need?
The key to Tyler's coffee is the roasting process. Because Mother Nature makes the coffee bean. We can only work with the processing.
We knew we wanted to go USDA certified organic. So we wanted to be the purest and cleanest coffee in the world. We had to source stuff from Africa, we had to source stuff from Brazil, we had to source stuff from Chile. And we put it through our proprietary Z-roasting processor. So what that really truly means to you is that the coffee doesn't have inflammatory properties in it. I'm dedicated to serving 50 million Americans that suffer from stomach-related modalities, and also the millions of other people that just deserve a great tasting cup of coffee that's healthy and safe.
All right,
Hello,
we are
hello.
back. Go ahead,
Yep.
Og, you take it.
Yeah, okay, we are back. And again, make sure you get enough coffee because it's very important. And the right coffee, because you don't want to acidify your body. Make sure you get the one that keeps you healthy. So that is my
Well,
last word on that.
and not only acidify, I want to take this moment. This is the 5th year, this is my 5-year anniversary of when I had black mold toxicity. You remember that, Augie? And
Yeah.
and the mainstream doctors said that if I made it to 5 years, it would be amazing. But it was during that time when I was doing the food program to kill the mold and doing the oils that I learned that you can buy coffee, and you probably are buying coffee that has mold in it when you buy it in the grocery stores. So this coffee is organic. It is intentional. They put so much focus and heart into it and it tastes really, really good. So I had to say that.
And it is alkaline.
Yes.
So
yes.
That is why I'm drinking that kind of coffee.
In your
Hey, guys.
broadcast team alpha mug, I might add.
Yes.
Monk suit.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, cheers to the look. I'm drinking clean water out of a copper glass. Copper.
That's beautiful. That's
You
beautiful.
got to get your metals into your body. I look forward to Wolf and I. We always used to have quad shots, quadruple shots in a coffee, and wow, that would slow me down if not.
Wait,
Yeah,
4 shots, like 4 shots of espresso? Wow.
Yeah, it's a very it's for killers. It's for killers only. Please don't try it at home, whatever you do.
If you did that in the evening, you'd be sleeping with one eye open.
You wouldn't be. I wouldn't be sleeping.
You know what? Funny you say that. I know how. Can I mention something? I know charlatans when I see them is when they say third eye. That's such a charlatan thing to say. I know how fluffy spiritual people can get, but I know a fake one when I see one. when they start talking about third eye and this, that, to really break the truth to you, it's called the first eye. It's the only eye you were birthed into, and it's the only eye that will ever be watching through your first eye. And pineal gland material. That's why when Orlando Monday Allen, love your heart, brother. You did so much for me. You do so much with the music. A sonic scientist of frequency. Orlando and I created an album called Infinite Endless Blue, and it's something
Speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, I want to definitely come to you. I created that at a period of time where Orlando's beloved, beautiful mother, she had passed at that time, or exited this realm into a beautiful extension. And Orlando at the time, we met, and Orlando did 9 years in the monastery before I went there. And Wolf and I were chatting, and once upon a time, and Wolf knew I played drums like you wouldn't believe. And Wolf said, you're going to really enjoy meeting Orlando one day. And this was years and years and years, because I'd left at 2009. And in 2016 or 2017, we got connected, Orlando and I, out of nowhere. And our first meeting was a drumming meeting. He brought his cajon, which is a very South American box that you sit on, you tap. And I brought, as you can see in the background probably, a darbuka, which is that gold thing sitting on the couch. And that was our first meeting. And when we clicked. Our spirits just, in rhythm, we shared love. And right then and there, I said to Orlando, hey, man, we got to do something. We got to create something. We got to create some magic for the people. And Orlando goes, hey, let's do it. So Orlando and I put 11 tracks together of some of the most phenomenal frequencies. And 432 hertz is a frequency that will connect your cellular memory. So in saying that, when you take the time out to lay down, when you take the time out to breathe deep, and I do say, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this and if you do have the time in your day, it doesn't take long to do so. Lay in a corpse position, slow your breath right down, and I mean slow it right down with concentration. You're going inhaling, hold it, and you're exhaling. However, every time you're breathing, lengthen the breath and get it slower and slower and slower. Now, the capacity of going in, by the time you get it to an alpha state, which is a plug for your broadcast team, Alpha. So I will say you're going to get it to an alpha state where your breath will go in such a very, very slow vibration. While inducing 432 hertz, you can actually leave the body. You can leave your brain. You can leave, this whole plane in a sense. Now, when we created that album, we created it for the person who was terminally ill, who couldn't get up and get around. We created it for the person who was in pain. We created it for the person who was stuck in their mind or their brain. So you'll see it on the 11th track. It's the last track. And when you play that and you get to your breathing, you'll definitely get to a very, very relaxed. And then, boom, you'll leave this body. You'll leave this realm. You will actually enjoy a realm that has many gifts for you. And it'll be your choice whether you come back the same way you were or a transcended way that you know you already are all the time. So, coming back to that, mastery is transcending. Self-mastery is loving yourself with the highest discipline. Now, mind you, you're going to need some teachers along the way. You know, teachers that have been there and done that. You're not going to do this alone, and it's dangerous to do it alone. You know, I will say you can hurt yourself if you think that you're going to do this alone forever and you're going to get everything from it. That's all rubbish. It's all drama. It's all gimmicks. Don't believe. And I wouldn't be, you know what, for all those people out there charging thousands and thousands for spiritual courses, don't, oh, I wouldn't buy into it. You know, everything that I've ever given away has always been for free. But the time that I'm giving it away in, I'm charging for. Never forget that. So anytime that somebody comes up to me and says, how much do you charge? It's like, hey, for an hour of my time, I'm gonna need this much energy off you, whether it's in the monetary sense, whether it's in the food sense, whether it's in, you know, clothing sense, no matter what you do. So like I said, there is an exchange of energy. It's your choice whether you want to give money. And I'm really not, you know, I know for a fact one day that this planet will run without money. So that's why this book, The Best That Money Can't Buy, we're going into a realm right now where welcome to the, how can I say this? Welcome to a paradigm where it's a great shift for the 5D people. You know, the 3D people will always be stuck in a realm of getting, accumulation. What can I take from you? But the 5D people will always be there to welcome you onto the bridge, give it to you freely. I mean, anyone and everyone that's come to my place, oh, everything's free here. The roof that I shelter you with, the food that I cook you, the Turkish coffee that I, you know, boil on the stove. So again, I will say, thank you, like, for your free time, Agi. Thank you for your free time, Nori. Thank you for the platform that you've given this heart to express through.
I want to say something.
Our pleasure.
I want to say something about that music before we go on. About 4 hours ago, I listened to that music that you created with Orlando Monday.
Orlando, let's call him Orlando Blue.
Good name, yeah. And when you sit and listen, close your eyes and kind of close the mind down, and your skin start tingling. That's what happened to me. That is something special. I mean, there's something special there that happens when your skin start tingling, because I bet that had something to do with 432 hertz and whatever else that you also have the love in the music.
Oh yeah, personally, from my experience, music has always been a part of my soul. Music is I heard this saying the other day, if art is expressed over space, then I feel that music is the art that is expressed over time.
Yeah.
And I want to say Orlando gifted me so much of an opportunity to do the first album. And, you know, you can grab this album you can listen to it for free, but to have it with you and to pay homage, just go to my website, artigmastery.com. There's 2 versions there you can grab. Orlando and I really did something for the people here. Back in 2016, I went and visited Grandmaster Wolf in Adelaide at a little place called Renmark. And this is one of the most special moments in my life. And Wolf is always Grandmaster Wolf, a lot of respect and a lot of love for him. This is this Grandmaster that I've been studying with and still study with till today. I'm still a disciple of his for the last 20 years. This is where I'm going to Istanbul for. I'll be going to Sweden. I'll be visiting Greece. I'll be visiting a lot of places. And I will take this music, I will take these frequencies into those realms, and I'll be running many seminars, many classes. And so, you know, there's a lot of frequencies that our eyes and ears don't hear. There's a frequency below a certain rate, and I'm thinking it's at it's below 200 hertz. That below that you're not going to hear, and above 7, I think it's above 7 or 8, or even 1110. It's above that you're not going to see with your eyes or hear with your ears. So frequencies are what we go by, and in everything there's frequencies and energy in everything. You know, so if you take your time out to tap into these frequencies, there's a part of yourself that you can open up to. You know, aliens go by this. I don't want to start a whole conspiracy scenario, but I will say this. Back in the day,
doesn't matter, man. Autonomy is an illusion.
Aliens have moved many things by sound alone.
Yeah.
And I want to really, for our viewers that might be new to this, the word alien itself, we've coined it as the definition of alien, something that is foreign to us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we bypass all that, and we know that the aliens, they're already among us. They're already here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to look too far. We're actually family with them. We're only one DNA or one strain of a percentage of a DNA that is not elevated to their level just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, you know, I heard it from a long time ago. And a good brother of mine who's I call him H, a very beautiful brother of mine. He was sharing with me the other day. We were sitting on the couch. You know, there was something revealed that there are tools yet to be revealed to us in the future, so to say, that these tools are going to be so futuristic that these tools are going to go back in time to listen to the prayers and to the prophet's words, so to say, that was dropped to him by Archangel Gabriel. Now, forever we all want to tap into mysteries. So if you really want to utilize tools to tap into mysteries, then utilize frequencies of these hertz, whether it's 528, whether it's 432, whether it's 639, 741. All these hertz make a huge difference to your practice. You know, there's a spider out in the web. Every night there's one spider in my path. And if the light's not on, you're going to walk into that web.
Mm-hmm.
However, you're going to get caught in the circles that this spider continually makes. What I'm trying to say as a metaphor or as a monk thing for you right now, concentrate on the spokes of life that take you to the center so that you can sit still and know the frequency of love. There's a frequency of love out there that many do not tap into and that many bypass. But when you do tap into love and you come from sincerity, everything will be right where you need it and everything will be given to you purely in the timing that you need it.
Boy,
I feel that. I feel that. I have a couple of questions. First question is, how do you spell Atig to get to the music?
Yeah, Atig is Attig. Atig is a family name I've taken upon myself, ordained under the Atig family. And just head over to and it's a very simple website. It's artigmastery.com. It's a very simple. So there's 2 recordings there. The first one has got Wolf giving his beautiful rendition on mastery itself. So that's really going to give you a good touch. And the second one is the instrumental version with about 3-4 bonus tracks that Orlando had said, hey, we've got these tracks that we didn't give to the public. Do you want to put these on there? So he's going, and I've said, yeah, this is beautiful. Bring it on, bring it on. So let me ask you guys a question, since, you know, Agi, you've been flying for a long time. And I want to say this.
Yeah.
Do you feel that in our lifetime, this planet will succumb to being free from contradictions?
That depends on what you mean by this planet. I think there is probably several timelines with this planet in it, and we may be in all of them. But the one that we are in now, in this timeline, I think probably there will be contradictions until we no longer have the drawbacks of physical brain, physical activity. When we are in spirit form, fifth dimensional existence, I think we probably can get rid of it, even though some part of the fifth dimension also have contradictions and unknowing and challenges. But I think in the higher vibrations, where I'm thinking we are going to go, I don't see any challenges to speak of, because most challenges are created by us. Remember, there was a very wise man about 2,400 years ago. He said, it's not the bad things that happens in your life that bothers you. It is the way you think about the bad things in your life that bothers you.
Yeah, I believe.
So
yeah.
If there are challenges, we create them.
Of course, yeah, and we are forever creating challenges because of our fear, right?
Yeah. Fear is mostly caused by lack of knowledge. Remember Hosea, about 1900 and some 90 years ago? He said, my people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yeah, I resonate with that much so. Nori, I want to ask you a question. You know, out of all the difficulties that that we go through sometimes, do you feel, because of our understanding, that things are presented to us that we can overcome because of our lessons that we haven't learned?
Ask me that again, please.
Okay. So, say example, there's so many people on the planet right now that are experiencing so many things, like they don't know how to get money, they don't know how to be abundant, they don't know how to see the right partner, they don't know where to go. Do you feel, because these things that we're experiencing, do you feel we haven't learnt those things in us yet, and we keep experiencing those things?
I more think that we're keeping out. I think it's our natural way of being is to be abundant. I think we keep ourselves away from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally agree.
Or close off to it.
As the,
which is equally as painful as if it were the other way around. You know, it's equally as uncomfortable.
Yeah, I hear you. So being in an uncomfortable state leads one to go deeper into the state of being fearless.
Yes, definitely.
You know, I really I want to get to a degree where, you know, why is it that we lack so much when we come from a place and a reservoir of so much abundance?
We're lacking self-love.
Yeah, like you can see that we're educated. Okay, so again, I saw it the other day. the health, what is it? The Minister of Health in our country. Wow. Like, have you seen the shape of this guy?
Is it good or bad?
Look, I've never put definition. I want to shy away from judgment so much, but if we're going to have a Minister of Health, you'd consider that person to be healthy, right?
Yes.
If you consider a Minister of Education, you'd think that person was educated, right?
Yes.
So, this is where, let's get back to the truth. I want to get away from all the fluffy spiritual stuff. I want to get to the real truth. True mastery transcends any particular art. It stems from mastery of oneself, the ability developed through self-discipline to be calm, fully aware, and completely in tune with oneself. Then and only then can a person know himself or herself. And they're the words of an old friend of mine, Bruce Lee. And lately, this book, if you can see that clearly.
I like that.
So, I want to get to a serious scenario of why, as a collective, are we putting so much emphasis and so much energy into the so few that don't know what they're doing?
Wow, that's a big question.
Because in the monastery, to master yourself, you got to get back to the truth.
Yes.
And the truth is, in the Taoist sense, I heard it the other day, Grandmaster Wolf, there's one book out there, it's a very, very, very old book. Tao is sincerity, and sincerity is Tao. And I don't want to, for all my brothers and sisters out there, whether you call it God, whether you call it Allah, whether you call it Tao. So I'm going to put those three as a G-A-T. Those three words mean the same energy. Okay, we're all talking about being in submission, and being a true Muslim, being a true Kabbalist, being a true Sufi, being a mystic at heart. I really want to mention sincerity is the key to this whole mastery. So when I see someone insincere to their profession, it's not someone I can listen to. It's not someone I can invest into, whether it's time, money, or energy, whichever way you look at it. So I look at all these so-called politicians. They don't make decisions. They make moves to line their own pockets. I don't see doctors anymore making choices for us to be healthy. I only see doctors that are lining their own pockets. Every doctor I see that have given the wrong prescription, they still drive around in a Mercedes, but they never care about the person they're giving a prescription to that's bare feet, still diseased. It's ludicrous out there. So, we're 7-point-something billion people on this planet. We invest so much into people that are so few. Let's call them the 1%. Now, I personally feel and know the real 1% of people are the outlaws. And the outlaws, as I said that, a bird just came and landed on the railing. Wow. Wow, this bird is unbelievable. So the little thing that I want to come to is the 1% of our people are the truest people leading the force right now. The truest 1% of our people are the real outlaws, So like I said to my brother H, hey, the true nomad of them all. To my brothers out there who are fighting the force at the moment, we are not seen, we are not heard because we're not in the mainstream, So I want to say the fight is on. The fight has to be with love. We can't lead this game with fear anymore by investing our time and energy into the so-called dice throwers out there. You know, they're all gambling on your... It just hit me. The only way that these people are misdirecting you is always depending on your attention. Your attention is the key to your love, your discipline, and your mastery. Where your attention is where your mastery really flowers. You know, so I want to say,
yes.
And I'm looking at myself, you know, and I may laugh at myself in another 10 years' time thinking, wow, what's this fool talking about when I become an alien? I transform the DNA within myself and connect the helix to then move things without touching them. And then some people call this phenomenal, which we in the spirit world, or we in the mystics world, we just call it something we haven't done before.
Yes.
So
can I ask you,
go for
it. Two questions. One, how do you define mystic or mysticism? And two, can people come to self-mastery through the physical body?
Great question.
Thank you.
Question. Part A, part B. Let's do this slowly. Mysticism, or being a mystic, is the manifestation of evolving. When one stops evolving, they become stagnant. Mystic, in the terms, is receiving and is elevating by giving. We are bridges, we are vessels, we are knowing, we are love, we are everything. Once we go beyond the physical form, and once we understand that it's always evolving, awareness is it being a mystic. Evolving is mastering the self. So yes, you can, through the physical form, be attentive, and it takes attention, being in attendance, to really master yourself. You know, that doesn't mean buy into, that doesn't mean conform to, that doesn't mean being subject to. However, in my practice alone, when I wake up in the morning, before my eyelids open up, it hears before, and when my eyelids do wake up and they open up, it watches. I see the body going in all sorts of directions for taste. It goes into all sorts of directions, like, what am I going to do today? But true mastery, you can definitely come from here in the body form and understand that it doesn't take for you to go to work, to do the repetitive, mundane things every day, you know, which I will say, those people they'll be continuing that path, but they'll repeating many things that they only believe in that will get them something later on. Now, this journey that I'm going to go on, it's a mystic's journey. It's the adventure of a lifetime of a mystic. I don't know who I'm going to meet. I don't know what I'm going to see. I don't know where I'm going to go. But to wherever I am, it'll be met with sincerity. It'll be met with love. You know, I don't fear no one. I don't fear anything. I don't fear a needle. I don't fear the system. The system is there for us to play with. You know, this life is a game. So you better get to know life if you want to be in that game and go beyond the game by, you know, breaking the rules a little bit. You know, just like, you know, everything else you've done in life, when you were aware, when you were born, you were breaking all the rules to just understand what you are, where you are, and who you are. So what happened to you guys? Huh? Did your hair go stiff a little bit? Did you put too much gel in that? You know, what happened to you guys? Wake up a little bit, everyone. Come back. Come back. You know, come back to
everybody.
Yeah, go for it.
I think everybody, more or less, is on a mystic journey. They just don't know it.
Ah, very true. You know, you too. By the way, Nori, the challenges that you just took to get to this spot in that position you are right now, that's a mystic's journey.
Thank
you leaving one spot to go to another spot. You don't even know where this spot you're going to. You don't know who's going to be there waiting to be seen by your love, for them to be healed by that. And, you know, you once upon a time too, by the way, if people don't know, Nori was a nurse and is a mystic nurse right now. She's doing some beautiful work out there with touching people's hearts by questioning them, by hearing their answers. This is the real healing right now, by sharing our story, by expressing ourselves, you know. So I do say being a mystic is not easy, but it's a path that you won't regret at all after you know nothing becomes hard ever again.
Can I tell you can we go over for a minute, Augie?
Yeah, we can.
I have something I want to share that I really want to hear about Monk Su's impression of that, or whatever experience of it. When I, you know, my last nursing job was with hospice, and there was this one man who came in, and he was estranged from his daughters, and he wasn't sick enough, right? He wasn't sick enough to be in an inpatient hospice. And I kind of fell in love with him. You know, he was from Pittsburgh, you know, he was trying to make amends with his daughters, kind of northern guy. So he got discharged. And one night when I was working, we got an emergency patient in who was, you know, in distress at home. That's when they come into the inpatient hospice. And he was in congestive heart failure. He couldn't breathe. I was running medication to him because he was suffering. He was suffering. And he was, you know, turning color, and it was difficult. And I gave him a lot of medication. And I looked at him while I was giving him this other round of medication. And I said to him, I didn't even think he would hear me. I said to him, I just have to get you up this hill, and then you're going to coast. Monk Su, I didn't even know he was in there. This man, right, sweating and drenched, I didn't think he was in there, took my hand and put it up to his lips, and he kissed my hand. That was the most powerful experience I have ever had on my mystical journey.
Yeah, you just reminded me of an old Sufi story. You know, Rumi back in the day, it went off. Rumi, once upon a time, back in the 1200s, no one ever knows his teacher. His teacher and his beloved friend, Shams Tabriz. And I'll give him the light more so. Once upon a time, they're sitting in the tent, and they're sitting by the fire, and Rumi turned to Shams and said, how do I kiss God? And Shams turned around and said, kiss your own hand.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, you know, it's a really beautiful thing to be kissed, to be the kisser, and to be the kissing. Yet when we are in that space of watching, we drop all of that. We're not the lips that talk, we're not the lips that kiss, and we're not the lips to lie ever again.
Yeah.
You know, so let's get back to the truth. That one man that kissed your hand, he may have kissed his God, and I think in his mind, I think he was picturing God as a beautiful woman. So
I've been saying that for a long time.
You know, and I don't want I seriously look to all the, I don't care what anyone thinks, but I love everyone that knows. You know, and thought has nothing to do with knowing, which, you know, Grandmaster Wolf, wow, I cannot say thank you enough for meeting this gentleman. Gentle scholar, a very valiant warrior, a beautiful man in his own right, a dangerous man, a very dangerous man. To me, in my eyes, he's not a man. He's a true mystic. And like I said, I've been gifted enough to come through my father, to come through my mother, to know that there's beautiful people that are feeding me, looking after me, that have loved me. These people are my true masters. There's one grandmaster of his own right, how he does what he does. My beloved brothers, you know, there's some very, very solid brothers that are looking after me right now. And brother, I do say to you too, Brother Frank, the Lone Ranger, like you wouldn't believe. I'll shout out to these people like you wouldn't believe. I want to say two people as well. There's two people that I want to say thank you. A guy called Ali. Ali is an owner, an inventor, an entrepreneur, a great speaker. Ali is a gentleman who is running Sunnyside Sliced in Melbourne right now, in Mentone, Beaumaris. I want to say thank you, Ali. Ali's a very beautiful gentleman. He fed me. He looked after me. He taught me a lot of things about how to never stop evolving. And his beautiful mum too, Najia. Oh, wow, what an angel at heart. That lady is the truest mystic. You know, she's the truest Sufi. She creates from the heart any given time. She doesn't judge anyone. She always comes from a space of giving, always comes from a space of creating. So these people in the last year for me, oh, wow, they gifted me a true mystical path, you know. So I will say thank you to Nadia, Ali. I want to say a big shout out to Grandmaster Wolf. Much love. I'm coming for you, and I'll see you soon. And I want to say thank you to Nori. And I know we're at the end, but our conversations will never end with you two. You're my counsel as far as oracles are concerned. You're my beloved people as far as brother and sister. I look forward to seeing you in person one day. And if ever you get to overseas, which, you know, most people, they're not going to travel because they're not taking the shot, you know, but there's ways to get around that. There's ways to get around everything that you're so-called being led to believe that you cannot do this or cannot do that. Remember this, folks. Governments should be afraid of people, not people should be afraid of their governments. Okay,
I like that.
You know, we need to change a lot. And at the end of the day, Jacques Fresco dropped this dime on us. Jacques Fresco, a beautiful man, and also Agi dropped this dime on us. Let's just say this. I want to say this big time. He dropped this on us, you know. So I want to say these books, sometimes we need books like this. You know, I want to say I'll be coming out with some really beautiful things. If you want some of this levity, get in touch with me. It's CBD, CBD oil. It's natural. This won't get you high. It's not for that.
Beautiful.
This will keep you centered. There's two versions of it. There's the 2.0 version, and then there's the relaxant version of it. I want to say this: get in touch with me. You know, be in touch with yourself first. But if you want to have a ride, I'm going to give you a little bit of a portal. It's called the LME, Loving Monk Experience. You know, it'll be a NDE as well, near death experience.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Agi, go for it, brother.
Now, let us know how people can get a hold of you. The simplest way to get a hold of you.
Simplest
Facebook
way,
or...
just if you look Facebook, yeah, cool. But I don't look. Facebook, not many people are inclined to keep that machine going with Facebook. If you've got a simple computer, just email me, zhumonk@gmail.com. It's ZXUMONK@gmail.com. Pretty easy. Just think of Monk Zhu in a sense, ZXUMONK@gmail.com. I'm sharing all the time on Facebook. Don't believe everything you see and hear.
No.
When you come and train with me, when you come and live with me, when you see the sanctuary open in the future, I'll be opening up a sanctuary in Istanbul. I'll be looking forward to going to Sweden to train intensively with Grandmaster Wolf. I look forward to that. There's an island that I'm invited to, and it's I'll hold the name for now, but there's an island that I'm invited to. All right, I'll share it. It's in Cyprus. It's in Cyprus. Yeah, there's an island, which is a little island near Turkey called Cyprus. It's a beautiful island. There's a beautiful woman who's invited me there. I will say this. I love your heart. Don't ever forget that. If this is the only thing you see, and if this is the last thing you see before my ascension, Australia is a beautiful place, but right now it's governed by fear. Okay. Yeah. So I will say they're not playing the game right here. They're not playing the game right at all. They're locking up people for no reason. They're fining people for no reason. They're keeping people dormant for no reason. So let me elevate you a little bit. I'm on Mount Tamborine here. I've never worn a mask. I've never not gone anywhere that I'm not supposed to. I go anywhere that I want. I be who I really am. Fear does not govern this vessel. You know, if you really want to live in love, master yourself, and definitely come to a state of awareness that knows how to do it. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to come and train with me. You don't have to buy my album. You don't have to send me an email. You just have to be sincere to who you really are. That's it. And to who you really are is immeasurable, unfathomable. You're untouchable. You are fearless. You're forever loving. You've got everything coming for you. And you're going to kick yourself that when you do die, I swear to God, you're going to actually want to come back over and over and over again to do it.
Wow.
So,
oh gosh.
Thank you.
This was
so amazing.
Great. You know, Nori, I don't ever remember us running over this lake before.
I know. So worth it. So worth it. Yeah.
No, I can't thank. Seriously, I can't thank you two enough. I really thank Nori.
Thank you.
One more thing, Monk, I want to ask you. This is my favorite question, and that is, if you could speak to the whole world and the world would listen, what would you tell them?
This is my truest message for you guys. Are you ready? Be fearless, my friends. You are in my family. You're serious. Do it lovingly, do it confidently, and be cool. You don't need anything outside yourself to tell you what you are or who you are. Everything is right where you are. But by all means, if you're going to die for something, die for truth alone. Die in your truth. You know, you want to be known for dying in your truth instead of dying as a coward living for the illusion. Yes. So I do say, look after yourselves really well. Love comes back to self-mastery. And join me on the journey. You know, this is nothing yet. Oh, they're going to try so much to stop us. But like they say, there's no stopping us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, love
Thank
your hearts,
you,
guys. I love you. I
so
love,
much.
love. Nothing but love.
Thank you very much.
From the heart to you guys. See you next time, yeah?